So I'm an idiot. Everyone knows this. And I'm just really bad at making predictions as to how people will react to the stuff I'm doing. Originally, when I started YouTube, I thought I'd get like 70 subscribers on the first day, and then it would take most of a year to hit like 300. Then, in reality, I got no subscribers in the first month, and then by the end of the year, I had 4,000. And so with the Patreon, I once again made a completely off set of predictions. I thought day one of the Patreon, I was going to get like 50 or so $1 patrons. And then if I was really lucky, I'd get like 3 of them at the $5 level. And then maybe I'd get a 10. And then what really ended up happening is that for the first 3 hours of the video, I gained 2 patrons at the $5 level. To explain why that's a bit surprising is very simple. Every hour a video is out, it gets half the views of the previous hour. So in the first 3 hours, a video gets like 75% of the views it will get total, ever. Most typically. So I was super happy to see that anyone believed in what I was doing here enough to give me anything. And it was more than I expected to be typical per person. So that was heartwarming to see. But it also caused me to have a complete and total panic attack because again, I'm stupid. My brain basically went, oh god, what if these are the only 2 I ever get? Oh god, have I seriously overestimated my ability to make a living this way? Oh my god, I'm going to starve! Again, stupid here. I don't know if Patreon was just slow on the update or something, but after those 3 hours, I gained another 3 patrons suddenly, and from there, by the end of the day, I had 12. And the thing that really blew me away is that I had 12 patrons, but their total pledges added up to a bit over $80. Now I have 14 and am at almost 120, and Patreon is keeping over 20 of them for themselves. So it's really like 140 something odd because my patrons are all contributing at such a high level. I can't believe it. I'm beside myself. All of you on Patreon believe in what I'm doing here so much, and I'm just over the moon. And let me be clear, if you are one of the contributors giving me just $1 to $3, I'm still overjoyed to get that. I am so happy you are willing to put any amount of money on my dream. I don't want to seem at all, in any way, like I only appreciate you if you contribute a bunch of money. Anything at all puts a smile on my face and a warm feeling in my heart because you believe in me. There are just people who have more money to spend on stuff like that than you. That doesn't mean that you believe in me or what I'm doing any less. And that's what truly makes me happy. It's not just that you've given me hope that maybe I really can make a go of this, but that you guys believe in me this much, enough to put any of your hard-earned money on it. It's a truly humbling feeling. So normally I'm not going to do it this way, but this time I want to start off the video by giving thanks to each of my amazing first patrons. I'm not going to say what level they're subscribed to Patreon at, because they may want that kept secret. Art Dog, my very first patron ever. Austin Roatin, I expect I'm mispronouncing that. Cyberknight Mickey, he's been with me since the beginning of my channel. Tyler Cranston, hey, I think I finally got someone's name right for the first time ever. Isaiah Jones, man, you just cannot stop helping me, can you? Animaligic, thank you so much, my guy. I am so sorry that I have basically no hope of pronouncing that right. Decepticon Cryowolf, thank you. Your faith in me is astonishing. Adam Grimaldi, I'm actually confident in that pronunciation. False Convoy, well, I guess you would know if you were the fake one, wouldn't you? Nihar Bot, I am almost positive I'm messing that up. I wish I could do better to thank you for the support. Derbs, otherwise known as Thunderbulge, thank you, my guy. Quantum Beware, is that a pink Deadpool teddy bear wearing fake bunny ears? Igor Netanushchi, I've tried pronouncing that in a video before, but this time I think I might have gotten it right, or at least close. And Julian Niblis, I won't forget any of you, and thank you all so much for your help. If you are one of my patrons and your YouTube name is different than the one on Patreon, please tell me on YouTube about it, so that way I know exactly who to thank. It is with all your help that I am able to continue this show. I'm not to the point where I can survive on this money yet, but I can stretch my savings just a bit further like this. And if you are considering donating to my Patreon, remember, if you are not completely financially secure, if you may need your money, then I don't want yours. I never want to be a source of burden for any of you. A huge part of my channel is to try to prevent you from wasting your money. So, if you have money to spare, only then do I hope you think of me. Anyways, somehow I'm getting to the point of this video even later than the last one. So let's move on to the figure that I was forced to buy in order to get an Earthrise Sideswipe. It's Beast Wars Silverbolt. I'm not calling this Skywarp because Skywarp is a Decepticon. I don't care what Japan has to say about that. So yes, this is Beast Wars Silverbolt. No, not that one. This is the G1 Silverbolt if he was reformatted into a Maximal. I don't think too many people are happy that this thing exists. This is just an unaltered Air Razor in new colors with a new head, and you aren't supposed to turn the feet around the other way. I don't have too much to add on top of that. This thing really isn't a very inspiring figure. Though it does come away with a very different feel than the Air Razor nonetheless. Honestly, not turning the feet around is a silly and lazy change that actually makes a huge difference. It really alters the vibe on this guy more than you'd expect. And the darker colors on him are much more in line with how Razor was supposed to actually look. Personally, I do think the darker colors on this guy are more attractive than the original. I'm honestly tempted to completely disassemble these two and Frankenstein together a more perfect Air Razor. Though that would probably not turn out very well. The colors on this also kind of bulk him up. He feels a lot heavier built than the original, but they've done literally nothing to change the sculpt except for the head. And jumping the gun a bit considering I just started, but the head is not great. There's a lot going on here. This is one of the busiest head sculpts I've ever seen. It's got the bird crest followed by the weird cap on the back. It's got these bulging brown sides and ugly cowl shape. Quick interlude. I hate this design feature on every character they've ever used it on. Thankfully, it's not used on a lot of characters, but the few they did just look so dweeby. And then you got the face with a multi-tiered faceplate with these weird teeth protrusions on the side, and the whole thing just gives off the impression that it's a face nestled within a face, nestled within a face. Good on this Digibasher here for figuring out basically exactly what this was going to look like, by the way. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I fucking hate this head sculpt. This is both overdone to an extraordinary extent and utterly indistinct. And it being indistinct is just about the only thing this has in common with the original toy, because that thing just had this spherical mush on top of its shoulders. And even in the comics, this was completely different. Really, this has been done to emulate the Beast Wars 2 design, which this in general fails at unusually hard. Like, it's not just problems with the mold here, like with the chest where they didn't really have an option. It had to look nothing like it was supposed to. Or the wings, which are just completely the wrong design. I guess you can kind of emulate them a little more by extending them, and that does give him an even more distinct presence. But it's the simple things that they could have fixed with very little effort. Like the fists. If they were trying to emulate the Beast Wars 2 character, then these either needed to be cast in brown or painted brown. Now you may say that casting it in brown would have required them to change the sprue it was on, and that is true. Also that painting it brown would have cost more in paint, so they couldn't afford to do that. 1. I call BS on couldn't afford, but let's assume you're right. Then 2. Why did they paint the insides of his wings light brown? They are cast in dark brown, and they're supposed to have a white stripe running through the middle of them, so they've gone to more effort to be less accurate. So yeah, not accurate and not all that great looking. If you're looking for a generic team member to add to the Maximals, this guy can pull that off, but he's not exactly burning down the house on looks. The accessories he comes with are the exact same ones the Air Razor comes with, but in white. Boo! I honestly don't think these are meant to be weapons for him this time. I think these are just supposed to bulk out his forearms so they look more like the ones on the original character design. Oh my god! Is this why Air Razor's weapons were wrong? Did they pre-tool her missiles so they'd give this guy his cuff and elbow protrusions? If so, that's dumb. That's really dumb. Anyways, I actually am going to be covering this guy's posability, unlike on the previous video. Like I said, I didn't cover it in that one because it was just so average there was no reason to. So this may shock you, Silverbolt is actually better on this front than the Air Razor. At least a little. In her video, I said I was pretty sure that those neck spikes were blocking her from much greater ranges on the head, and it turns out I was right. All of the up on the head that you could ever ask for without cheating. Like 91-degree shoulders, 95-degree elbows, jerking off action, massive cheating for ab action, legs that can pull like a 180 in 2 directions but like not anything going backwards, almost maximum knees, mafia shins, and the ball joint feet, which are both good and frustrating as hell. Oh, and the wings do a ton, but I've heard story after story about Air Razors breaking, so these I do not trust. Transformation is not complex, it's not interesting, and I wouldn't call it fun either. This is one of the few transformations that I think of as a waste of time, which is impressive considering how short it is. I will say the bird mode here is perhaps a bit more cohesive than the Air Razor. The colors help conceal his robot parts better. Though he is still just a dude popping a squat, I guess cause with these here, it's so that way he can shit missiles. And I find the new White Eagle head now exceptionally goofy looking. So I think we all know what this guy's best mode is obviously going to be. It's the Were-Raptor mode! I'm not even joking, I have so much fun with him like this. It's like, you got this mundane asshole with this goofy head, and then it's like, boom, party time. Were-Raptor is hardcore, he's the maximal answer to Rampage. Look, unless you're an idiot like me, this figure isn't worth it. Hell, this set isn't worth it. It's 2 barely anything retools where one ends up a little worse than the original and the other one ends up not being an improvement. But it's like $5 more expensive to buy the 2 of them together. You honestly just have to wonder if they sold these 2 like this because they knew Skywarp wouldn't sell on its own. The simple fact of the matter is these 2 just aren't an improvement over the older ones, and they're probably packaged with $25 worth of toy you don't want. My recommendation is that you only buy this if you have no other way of getting the originals for a reasonable price. It's not a bad set, it's just one that doesn't do much to justify its existence. Or like, anything at all to justify it. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.